Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I don't know if you guys are snowed out or what, but welcome to the channel. We're going to do the weekly live show that I usually do. I need to adjust a few settings first before we get started. I'll let everybody pile in and then I'll kick off and frame up what we're going to be talking about today. And we've got a long show. I think a lot of America is snowed in right now, so we might have extra time. So while I'm doing that, come on in the chat, say hello, and we will get it going. So give me one moment and I will be right back while I do a few things just to make sure all of our settings are correct. So um, hopefully it's not too bad where you are. Let's see. Just have to do a few things here. All right. Okay, one more moment and then I will introduce everything. Um, there we go. Okay, I'm back. We have two people in the chat. That's fantastic. Welcome. This is my weekly news aggregate. What I'm going to be covering today, and while you guys are all streaming in and we get this kicked off, I'm going to be covering a couple of things. But I want to start at the outset, just saying, when I pulled this show together, I really try to think about you, the viewer, and you. What I understand, I'm taking your time, and you're taking your time to spend some time with me on a Sunday like this. And so I'm really trying to bring you some value and bring you some things that maybe you haven't seen before. And I would like to have a nice, lively discussion. We welcome everybody from all sides of the aisle, of course, but we want a discourse. We want intelligent conversation. If there's, really kind of some nastiness, I will bump everybody out. And, so that's just sort of the framework of kicking this off. So the first thing is today, obviously, we had another shooting in Minneapolis yesterday, in Minnesota. So I'm going to talk about, really, I want to frame this in the context of, America is very, very unhappy, and we're seeing this played out in three ways. So how are we seeing it? Um, we'll go over the Alex Pretty, I believe his name is, incident yesterday. We're going to talk about Noor bin Laden and a color revolution. What exactly is a color revolution? And then who is susceptible in our society today of joining that color revolution? One of the things that I noticed this week is that there's been quite a few people from the medical community who have, with frequency, been showing their distaste for people in America who support ICE, who are doxing ICE agents. You may have heard of a nurse, Lexi Lawler, and I will be talking about that. And then I have a third area that I also want to discuss that might be a little bit unusual as an angle or a facet to today's discussion. And that is, I think they're calling it Fatspo. And so if we have enough time, we'll get to that. We've got 13 in the chat. I want everyone to come on in, say hello, where you're from. Hey, Mark. Hey, hi, Mark. Oh, hi. Nice to see you. As always, I hope you guys like and subscribe to the channel. And if you are so inclined and can support by joining my channel or offering a super chat, that would be great. We will prioritize super chats. But in any event, let's get this kicked off as people are kind of, piling into the discussion today. Hi, Joe Smith. The law is on the side of the officers. Protesters don't change the law no matter how stupid things get. Brush, he can't even reply to you. I can reply. How I usually run these live streams, if you've been joining me over the last few weeks, is that I want to cover some content. And then we will talk about it. We will review it together. Then we'll have a discussion, bring the chat back in for a discussion, and then we'll roll it that way. So, like I said, and I'm going to kick this off today. We've got people joining in and saying hello and where you're from. We've got people joining as we're piling in. I'm going to share, I think, a gentleman who put it very, very well about how all of America, or 75 million Americans who voted for Trump and who voted for, mass deportations are feeling. And then we'll get into Noor bin Laden color revolution and what that is. So as everybody's piling in, I'm going to start to share that screen and we'll get the discussion kicked off. Again, let's keep it civil. If you're going to be nasty and things like that, I will kick you out. I'm wanting discourse. I'm wanting a discussion, but we can't have nastiness. So let me get that kind of off the ground here, and we will have. Um, Let me get to where I need to be, and I'm going to kick this off with this guy Cambrox, who I think really kind of said it very, very well for all of us. So let me do that, and then we will get going. Okay. So hold on one second while I do live producing, getting better at this as we're going along. So got the right layout. Good. Okay, great. Great. Everybody can see? Good. All right. Let me get back and play this and then we'll talk about it. I think this gentleman said this well for all of
So
us.
75 million.
Okay, here we go.
So 75 million Americans, including myself, voted for mass deportations. And now we have people in Minneapolis and elsewhere interfering with the carrying out of that wish by the Trump administration. So they are subverting the will of the American people, literally. And every single one of them has to be arrested and prosecuted if they are interfering and breaking the law. Otherwise, we have mob rule in this country. We don't have a country anymore. They are subverting the will of the people. I don't think people realize how serious this is. And I keep thinking about the Javier Milei interview from a couple of years ago when he's talking about to the leftists, you can't give them 1 millimeter. So this has to be dealt with fucking immediately. Arrest, prosecute. I don't care if it's fucking boomer old ladies. Anyone breaking the law has to face the consequence. That's what I voted for.
So yeah, I do not disagree with him. I think he said it very, very well. What we are seeing in Minneapolis, and we saw it in Portland last night. If you're watching any of the live streams that were going on, live streams were going on all over the place, all over YouTube, all over X and things like that. But they are subverting the will of the people. Let's not forget that 75 million people strongly support deportations, and that is what we're seeing in Minneapolis. And of course, we've had a couple of weeks where a couple of people have lost their lives. We'll get into, why that is. But what really is happening, and if you guys aren't following, Noor bin Laden does a very, very good job of breaking it down. And I'm going to go there next. And then we'll start to get into the chat after we listen to a little bit of a clip from Noor bin Laden. So let me now share that 22 in the chat. Please tell me. Yeah, he is correct, Joe Smith. I totally agree. I'm going to show you on the stage here. I do believe that he's correct. I know I feel that way. I know a lot of Americans feel that way. And that's why I thought he was really a great guy to kind of kick off our discussion today. But what is it? It's a color revolution. And we're going to go to Noor bin Laden and share that now. Let me get to that. So I think it's really very key. Um, I've got to just do my live producing. And you guys are always very, very good to me about that. So I appreciate the patience. So give me 1 second. Okay. So Noor bin Laden, if you don't know who Noor bin Laden, she was in Davos this week covering the World Economic Forum, and she's got a lot of really, really good take on this. She's quite good at this, very, very smart. And I want to sort of talk about what her breakdown is of this. So let me get Noor going.
Everybody should go as well to the Council on Foreign Relations website. They have 2 articles specifically that I'd like to highlight. One is on the conflicts to watch in 2026, which ties exactly to what is being discussed happening in Minnesota and this, crisis and the so-called US political violence that is ratcheting up, which is true, but you have to understand this is entirely manufactured.
Yeah.
Just as the managed decline is also manufactured. George Soros has been talking about this for years. He's a master in terms of color revolutions. Your country is 100% going through a color revolution. And the other article also on the Council on Foreign Relations website is entitled Global Summits to Watch in 2026, Bracing for a New Global Disorder, ? And I found that the title was very telling because it ties to everything that's been telegraphed.
Yeah, so just stop there for a second. Noor bin Laden is really, really great. I've been following her for years, but I do want to say something at the outset of this. I do believe, people say that Trump is chaotic and all that kind of thing. I don't believe that it is Trump. Trump happens to be the person that kicked this off. But no matter who it was, anybody who would do what Trump is doing, you would see all of this color revolution. It's not Trump specifically. It's going to take somebody like Trump, and really, he kind of ripped the mask off back in 2016. So if you remember in 2016, when he was president for his first term, we saw very, very similar things happening with the George Floyd riots. And because this is a global resistance. We've got the World Economic Forum. But anybody who were to come along and do what Trump is doing by challenging the global world order, the new world order, the World Economic Forum, would get this same type of chaos, this same type of resistance that we're seeing. So, Trump is just the armor piercing shell that is the God-given vehicle for which we're doing this, and we are, taking our country back. I think obviously before Trump, very, very we were kind of in the dark. We didn't understand what was going on. He kind of ripped the veil off and exposed it to everybody. And here we are 10 years later. So you saw it in 2016 with the George Floyd riots. And you're seeing it again now. You didn't see it under Biden because Biden, remember, he told everybody, we want to surge to the border. So the globalists were having their way, and you didn't have the, shootings in Minneapolis that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. You didn't have the, looting and rioting and burning of buildings and burning of police stations and things like that because they were getting their way. Now, last week, if you joined my live stream last week, and I've got some clips for this guy, Kyle from Antifa, who was all over Twitter yesterday, all over the scene in Minneapolis. He pretty much said, well, if you just go back and let us do what we want, it'll be peaceful. Well, no, you know what? We're not going to give in. And that's, we're at a turning point. And so that's what it is. Yes, of course we give up and you guys are going to be happy. We understand that. We are not going to do that. And so that's just a commentary. I'm going to let Noor bin Laden keep going, and then we will talk a little bit more about it as we roll forward.
In Davos this week, most specifically by Mark Carney. You have all these liberals as well in the cold open that you posted there. They're all fawning over Mark Carney for his speech. But there is another speech that people haven't been paying attention to, which is a speech that was given by the president of Finland, Alex Stubb, in a talk entitled rebalancing the new world order. And he framed the current times we're in the following matter. He said that the new world order can be multilateral with international institutions, open societies, or multipolar with deals and spheres of interests, and how if you give more power to the global south, they will decide the new world order, as Tim Hinchcliffe spotted there. The point I'd like to make with regards to that is that multilateralism versus multipolarity is a false dichotomy, because at the end of the day, they both lead to the same destination: centralized power, control, governance, surveillance. This is what we've been talking about for years, Steve.
So that's definitely something that they're working towards. That is why you're seeing this upsetness, because if you guys didn't see what Trump did and Howard Lutnick did and all of these conversations that were happening at Davos, I mean, they pretty much dropped a bomb and said, no, it's not going to be the, the globalists, elitists are not going to be ruling the world. They're not going to be ruling America. And, Trump has been elected president for that reason. But it's a color revolution. I'm going to probably jump now to another lady that I want to highlight who explains exactly what a color revolution is if you're not already aware of that. So let me go to that next clip and while we're doing that, we're going to check on the chat and see, who's coming on in. And please do say hello. Stanley, bullshit. Trump empowers racist violence. Okay. I mean, we can have a discussion. That's totally fine. I just don't believe that. But you're certainly welcome to your opinion. Let's keep going. You are a globalist, ma'am. I'm not a globalist. I'm absolutely not a globalist. I'm America first. I'm for American first, and I believe in our country. So let me kind of keep going and get to another lady who's going to explain exactly what a color revolution is. If you'll just give me a moment while I get that clip. And I'm doing my live producing. Okay, this girl does a great job of breaking this whole thing down. Let's listen to what she's saying.
And they're right. And political experts over and over refer to the fact that what we're witnessing is a color revolution. And they're right. And let me explain why. A color revolution is a communist globalist playbook to take over a country without tanks actually rolling down Main Street. It's how they flipped places like Serbia, Georgia, Ukraine, and they tried to flip a dozen others. The same exact playbook every single time. This is how they do it. One, they demonize the leader of the people who they actually voted for. Two, they flood the country with chaos like riots, open borders, economic pain. Three, they weaponize the courts, the media, and big tech to finish him off. And four, they install a puppet who sells the country out to China and the UN. And that's not theory, that's the manual. They opened it on us in the United States the day Donald Trump won in 2016. And here's how they ran it on us step by step. From 2016 to 2020, they gave us the Russia collusion hoax, FBI spying, 2 fake impeachments, Antifa burning cities while CNN called it fiery but mostly peaceful. And the goal was to make you hate the guy you voted for. In 2020, we had 2 a.m. ballot dumps, boarded up windows, 51 Intel agents lying about Hunter's laptop, Zuckerberg dropping $400 million to help count votes in Democrat cities. And the goal there was to steal the election while calling you a conspiracy theorist for noticing. From 2021 to 2024, we had Joe Biden opening the border on day one, 12 million plus illegals, military-age men from China and Venezuela and all over the world, free flights, free hotels, free EBT cards, all on your dime.
And I think it's far greater number than 12 to 15 million. I think it's more like 20 million. And don't forget, for the last, 20 years or something like that, we've been going with a whole number that it was 11 million. So we supposedly had this kind of, made up number that it was 11 million illegals living in the United States. before 2016 and before 2020 when Joe Biden was president. I think at least 20 million did cross our borders because do you remember? I mean, Joe Biden kept saying, we want them to surge, kept saying, we want them to surge to the border. And they did surge to the border. And I remember seeing all of the caravans of people that were coming across. I mean, day after day after day. So I think it's at least probably 30 or maybe 40 million illegals are in this country. That is, I mean, you cannot survive, a nation cannot survive like that. And to go back to the beginning of this live stream when our buddy Cambrox talked about the will of the people, the will of the people. Trump had a mandate to close the border and deport all illegals, all illegals. And I don't care. Obviously, the first round of illegals that we're going for are the violent criminals, people with, you know, mental illnesses and things like that. But that doesn't mean that it's just limited to them. We want everybody that's been in this country illegally and didn't do it the right way to be deported. They are offering them a way back in if they were to go along with it, but that's really the plan here, and most Americans support it. So I'm going to let her continue on, and then we'll jump into some discussions, and that's how we'll run the live chat today.
Cities collapse, crime explodes, schools and hospitals break. The goal, to make Americans feel like strangers in their own country. Then from 2021 to 2025, 91 felony charges, Mar-a-Lago raided, gag orders, mug shots. They didn't want to just beat Trump. They wanted to break him and every future patriot who dares to run. Look at what they did to Charlie Kirk. That is a textbook color revolution. But on November 5th, 2024, the American people looked this Marxist coup dead in the eye and said, not today. 312 electoral votes, popular vote landslide, the biggest Hispanic and Black Republican turnout ever. We pulled off the greatest peaceful counter-revolution in world history. But the deep state isn't done. The same snakes who funded BLM riots, Ukraine coup, and Arab Spring still sit in the FBI, CIA, big tech, and
She's 100% right. They're not done. It's going to take a lot more than Trump. It's probably going to take another, 12 years of another MAGA president, JD Vance, Rubio, whoever it might be. I actually think there's a guy named Dennis Michael Lynch who could be a dark horse, somebody worth checking out. Very, very interesting guy. And actually, I think I have maybe one of his clips or something from his Twitter feed that I'm going to be showing today. But she's absolutely right. Anybody who thinks that, Trump's going to get this done, and he's only been in office for 1 year. The damage to undo this and repair this is going to be a lot more than just, 4 years of Trump, another 4 years of Trump, and then 12 or another 8 years of JD Vance or Rubio or whoever it might be. I'm going to pause there for a minute and see who we have in the chat and how it's going. And we'll get a minute there for everybody to say hello and tell me where they're from. Let's see. Hi, Joe. Average Americans support Trump and don't support liberal chaos. And it will reflect every election moving forward. One Black, Hispanic, and millions of registered Democrats. 100%. You're totally right on that. Where are you from, by the way, Joe? They're trying to make us, normal Americans, feel like strangers in our own country. Absolutely, they are. And I can tell you, as somebody who lives in the blue state of Chicago, I recently went to the DMV, and I'm telling you, it's not America. This is not the Chicago that I grew up in. I don't think this is the country that we've grown up in. I just saw a recent chart, a graph of how much the population and the electorate has changed in the United States, where there are quite a few people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds. I think Chicago used to be something like, I don't know, throwing it out there, don't quote me, 86% white. It's now 29% white. You're seeing similar things in New York City as well. And they're busting them in, and they are changing the electorate. And Tucker Carlson, who was talking about that and took a lot of heat for that, was not incorrect about that. So anyway, Tribally Boston now. Oh, okay. Oh, you were Boston. Yeah, I love Boston. What a beautiful, beautiful city. But you moved to Alabama. I totally understand that. I'd like to move out of Chicago. I can't really do that right now, but I would like to do that. Um, Let me see. Hey, Vinny Garth, the weight 7065. They're sending third world countries for a reason. They absolutely are, Vinny. And by the way, while everybody's coming in, introducing themselves, please do like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. I would love that if you guys would do that. So moving on, I want to let this girl continue. And then we're going to ask the question is we're going to look at a little bit of the incident yesterday, a couple of more incidents of what's happening on the ground. And then we're going to ask the question, who in America is susceptible to being part of one of the foot soldiers of this color revolution? And there's a high frequency of people coming out of the medical community, which begs another question. Anyway, let me keep this rolling and we'll get the discussion started or continued as we move forward.
The universities. They'll try again in 2026 or in 2028, but now you know the game. Every time you see another mostly peaceful riot, sudden experts all using the same scripted words, a new crisis 2 weeks before an election, you're watching the Color Revolution playbook live on American soil. Never forget what they tried to do to us. Back mass deportations. If we have no border, we have no country. Protect every America First fighter willing to swing the axe on the swamp. Teach your kids the truth. Communism didn't die in 1991. It just died a tear purple and moved to Washington. This is still the United States of America. We are still the home of the brave, and the brave do not bow to color revolutions. Recognize what is happening. Stare it in the face, speak out against it, and then we finish taking our country back, one closed border, one drained swamp, and one restored republic at a time. We need to support our president in taking all necessary measures to do just that. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I thought she did a fabulous job of really explaining it. And one thing I've been saying on my live streams for the last couple of weeks, if you guys have joined them, is that, you know, if I do think that I think we lost the country in 2020. With everything that happened with elections and that whole thing. And, you know, now it's coming out about, you know, was that election, you know, I think Donald Trump won 3 times, if you ask me the truth. But we're not going to be able to get this back without some turbulence. And I don't think that the left's playbook that you're seeing in Minneapolis right now is playing out the way they wanted it to. Like the George Floyd riots and things like that back in 2020, where it was happening across every city. I remember specifically sitting in my city of Chicago. And, you know, I mean, but last night it really has been contained to Minneapolis. There was a little bit in Portland. I saw some action in LA, but you're not seeing it blow up and get totally out of control across the country like we saw in 2020. So I don't think we were ready for it in 2020. I think we're ready for it now. People are, you know, kind of, you know, understanding what's going on. They're seeing the playbook and they're not going to fool us this time, in my opinion. So let me open up the chat to a discussion. I'll remove my screen while everybody comes in. We've got the chat rolling in. Jersey Mike, you know, really, honestly, the nastiness, we don't need it. See you later. Just don't need you. Okay. Just joined re-immigrants. Take a look at the UK and Europe. 1,000. Oh, Cold Analytical. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. Nice to see you again. I'm so glad you were joining. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Just joined migrants. Take a look at the UK and Europe. Thousands of years of history being swept away by never-ending invasion and combat age unemployable illegals and legals. Absolutely. Absolutely, Cold Analytics, and we're trying not to have that. We don't want it to become the UK. And, you know, you just have to kind of like open up your eyes, and you definitely have, you and I have talked a lot. we kind of know what's going on, but there's a lot of people that still, I feel like, are not, they're just not seeing it. And maybe they think this is an isolated incident. Yeah, this is what we get from Jersey Mike. Yeah, we're not going to have name calling, and see you later. Take care. You could be a bot. Anyway, as we go, automation DND. Thank you. Thank you. I do need to get moderates. My live chats on Sundays have been growing so big that it's hard to kind of take care of the trolls and things like that. But anyway, as we're doing all of this, I want to jump to the incident and specifically what happened with Alex Preti last night. I'm not going to really necessarily talk about the actual shooting, but what happened just before that. So let me go there while the everybody kind of piles in and has cross discussion, which I think is fantastic. Let me just grab that, and then we'll continue on. So that's kind of how I run my live streams: is show a few clips, invite in the discussion, and show a few more clips. So am I sharing this? I want to make sure I'm sharing this. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Here it is, start to finish. Now, just before that, he had gotten in the way of these ICE agents and had grabbed a woman, which I think you're seeing her right there. She's sort of bent over, right here. And he was trying to protect this woman. Now, why she was being pepper sprayed or, being deflected from ICE agents, I didn't see that part of it. But he is directly interjecting himself into a highly charged, high voltage situation. And here's what happened. So for all of the lefties that are out there saying this man was murdered in cold blood, no, he was not murdered in cold blood. He put himself in this situation. The person who was murdered in cold blood, if you can remember, was the United Healthcare CEO, Luigi Mangione, who is being tried for his murder, or he's in jail. His trial's starting. He was murdered in cold blood. That man was walking down the street and shot in the back. This person was not murdered in cold blood, and we can continue to look at what's happening here.
What the fuck, people? What the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
Okay, so we've definitely all seen that. I think it's worth taking a look at. Again, when they, murdered in cold blood, I'll ask the chat, was he murdered in cold blood? Did he insert himself? Look at all those ICE agents. And then you've got all these civilians in Minneapolis that are directly interfering with their, trying to execute these deportations and things like that. So to say he's murdered in cold blood, and for Tim Walz, I could barely stomach what he said yesterday, and Jacob Fry and things like that, is just absolutely not the truth. But it is going back to the color revolution. You're hearing people that are talking about the media spinning this narrative when we can see what we see what you see. We can see with our own eyes. I want to share something else that Ben Bergquam shared that I think is another example of what they are. And I know you guys have seen it, but I wanted to open this up for discussion. So let me go to that clip next. Let me grab that. This is really something that I think is like unbelievable. That happened on the street. I think this is also in Minneapolis. Watch this guy. Watch this.
There you go. What y'all like? You like rapists and murderers? And, yeah, I love them. And child molesters? Let me tell you about it. Yeah. I love them. I get out this whole punch. God bless ICE, man. You're blocking traffic. I don't give a fuck. You're not real police, to move. So you can't do shit about it. You need to move. You ain't real police. You can't do shit about it. I'm not police. You need to move. There you go. I'm so glad. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Hey, I can block traffic all day. I'll sit this bitch. Don't talk to me, cuz you should be ashamed. All the shit our people went through, and you gonna be help these slave catchers? Weird ass nigga. Get out this bitch and pack you out. You can if you get. You said I wet. You said I wet.
What are you doing?
Huh? I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do.
Get in your car.
I do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Get in your car and leave.
I don't know why you up in that. Hey, I'm a Texas ID holder.
Get in your car.
She don't carry it. I vote, boy.
Then you should support the country. Then you should support the country. If you're a vet.
Okay, I want to stop this for a minute and talk to Dakeen 96815. Monica, have I ever had pepper spray in my face? No, I haven't, because I've never injected myself into an ongoing, law enforcement, deportation in play. I have never acted like that. This guy, obviously, and I have a few comments about this particular guy. I would have no reason, if you don't get in the way of law enforcement, ICE agents, things like that, then you don't generally have to worry about having pepper spray in your face. So I'd love to hear your response to that, Dakeen. What is the point of your question? So we'll just keep going with that, but I don't understand. And again, Automation D, Monica can probably behave. You're exactly right. I'm a law-abiding citizen. This guy, you could see him driving down the street. He had nothing to do with anything. And the next thing he knows, he's out of his car. We're going to keep playing this. And so we can comment on it. But no, I have not had that issue.
If you're a vet, you should support the country. Now, if you're a vet, you should support the country.
Huh?
You should support the country.
What about Renee?
You
What
try
about
to
Renee?
run over ICE officers with your car.
I run all y'all over. Y'all ain't gonna do
You
shit.
should be ashamed, bro.
Bitch made ass
You should
nigga.
be ashamed.
Huh?
You should be
Hey, all
ashamed.
that-
You should be ashamed, bro.
Huh?
You should be
You should
ashamed.
be ashamed.
God bless
That's
America.
what y'all do.
And that's the problem. You got people in our country, no love for this country. Guy says he's a vet. It's a shame if he is. Illegals are a problem, major problem. The proportion is most Americans can't even comprehend what we're dealing with, what ICE is having to deal with. But it's the leftist traitors within our own country, like that guy, that are the real threat. If we have Americans that don't love America.
Now, if you guys are not familiar with Ben Berquam, I totally recommend that you follow him. He is like amazing. That is one tough guy. He's been covering the border invasion and all of that kind of stuff for years. But a couple of comments about the gentleman, this guy that got out of his car and has a big problem with ICE doing their job. I mean, number one, there's a commonality with all these people. I mean, first of all, tattoos. The guy's got tattoos all over the place. And my guess is, and again, I don't know, I'm just speculation here, but guy look, maybe had some gang affiliations or something like that. Why is he inserting himself into something he has nothing to do with? If you insert yourself into something that really is none of your business, then you might have a higher likelihood of being pepper sprayed, or in the case of Alex Prati, again, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, of being shot and killed. Why did Alex have a firearm with him? If you don't take those actions and you don't do those kind of things, then you don't generally have to worry about ICE, being killed by ICE or being pepper sprayed by ICE. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that we're seeing. This is part of a color revolution. As Ben put it, leftists, the enemy from within. That's really the only thing that can defeat America is America defeating itself. And so we'll take a few more chats, open up a discussion, and go from there. Yeah, I mean, I'm being called a Karen for sure. Barefoot runner, why am I a Karen? What makes you say that? I mean, I know that people on the on the left, they don't like to deal with facts. Nothing about me is a Karen at all. I'm just telling you what we could see with our own eyes. You see this happening. So I'd love to hear your I know you're not going to have a response or anything of intelligence to say, but how am I a Karen? And let's have a discourse on it. He was disabled. I don't know what that means. Day Keen, they were resisting arrest. Thanks, Felix. Oh, Felix, I think I recognize you. I think you've come to some of my other live streams, and I love it. Uh, okay. We'll just keep this going. Yeah, it could be a bot. Hey, Vinny, nice to see you again. I think you were here. Or maybe I'm remembering. No, I'm remembering you from earlier in this chat. That's how old I'm getting. I didn't know you were the last live stream or you're just hanging on for this live stream today. And I really, really do appreciate that. Again, you guys, please tell me where you're from. Introduce yourself. Like and subscribe. Really does help me grow. If you're so inclined, super chats will be, very, very appreciated. But we'll keep going with our discussion today. Barefoot runner, I'll argue with you all day long because I'm right and you're wrong. Okay, that's not really an argument. Seriously, give me your theory of the case. And we could serve it up for the entire chat today. And let's have discourse. I have no problem with discourse. So we'll take a few more questions and let me just kind of bounce through this and get people on the stage and get okay, Dakeen, I've had it in training. You are blinded and it is only used as an escalation of force. What did the woman and man do to deserve the spray? I didn't have that in my video, but first of all, I mean, you can see everything that's happening in Minneapolis. They're just not peaceful protesters. They're not standing by the side of the street and saying, holding up signs and saying, F ICE or whatever. That's not what they're doing. They are getting actively involved and in the way and inserting themselves of the law enforcement activity of deportations in progress. So that probably is, your first clue that they're doing something to deserve pepper spray. That's my opinion on that. Barefoot, I'm a Karen for sure. Okay, I mean, you can live your life the way you want to. I'm not a Karen at all. But I mean, I welcome you joining the chat. And again, give me the reason for why I'm being a Karen. Don't get it. Felix, Dakeen, they were resisting arrest. I appreciate that. Okay. Barefoot runner. From what I understand, Trump inserts himself in a lot of things he shouldn't. Well, he is the president of the United States. Back it up, Barefoot. I don't really think you can. These are just accusations, empty accusations. Whenever you confront a leftist with facts, with just things that actually have happened, that's all they can come up with is, Trump's inserting himself. Well, exactly how? Barefoot. Let's have the discourse. I'm totally open for it. Sadly, Cold Analytics, one of my favorite buddies. Sadly, the younger people are being widely infected with this wokeism bug. They will only realize that they have been tricked when Sharia law and religious police come to their white middle class areas. 100% cold, 100%. That's exactly what's happening. And it's kind of funny. They're starting to see that in New York now because they elected Mamdani, Democrat, socialist, and now they're already having buyer's remorse. So anyway, I want to go. Karens are white women who get off on police killing innocent people. That's you. Yeah, it's just not me. I mean, that person wasn't an innocent person. I'm sorry, I've got to stop you right there. That person was not an innocent person. And I'm going to move on to the next thing. So, what we're actually seeing is that there's a frequency. Who is susceptible in American society? And I believe this does all stem from unhappiness. They are personally unhappiness. There's some void. There's something in their personal lives that make people act out. So if you're not aware of a nurse who wished terrible things on Caroline Leavitt, who is due. She's going to be delivering her second child pretty soon. It's pretty disgusting. And these are the kind of people that are susceptible to this. They are susceptible to the manipulation from those who are backing the color revolution. And let me pull that up while the chat rolls in, while everybody kind of crosstalks. I love the crosstalks, I do have to say. So, because I have to ask the larger question about the medical, okay, so let me share this. And I may not be able to beep out. I'm going to do the best I can to beep out the really disgusting stuff that she says. Let me just.
As a labor and delivery.
Okay, listen to what this woman said. This is like a week ago.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Leavitt a 4th degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt. As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Leavitt a 4th degree.
Okay, so I wasn't able to catch the dirty words. I hope I don't get banged from YouTube on it, but that's what this woman, this is the nastiness that we're seeing. This woman, Lexi Lawler, she's an unhappy lady. No question about it. Anybody, when you have that kind of vile, evil coming out of, why? Why is she upset that Caroline Leavitt is having a baby? What does she care? She's an unhappy person, which is the premise of this entire live stream today. Is you're seeing unhappy people who don't want to look inward and repair themselves and walk through the pain of whatever deep-seated hurt or trauma or whatever they may have going on or have happened in their lives. They do not want to address it within themselves. So what they're doing is they're lashing out to, to the public, to others. In this case, she's lashing out to Caroline Leavitt. Now, this happened like a week ago. She doesn't stop there. There's actually more. So let me go back because I've got to, and I appreciate you guys helping me with my live stream, kind of doing my live producing. So she keeps this up. Here we go.
They murdered a man in Minnesota.
Let me just get it back. Here we go. This is the same lady who was fired, by the way.
So they just murdered a man in Minnesota. They murdered a man in Minnesota, and you motherfuckers are coming after me because I use bad language. Fuck you. I'm on the right side of this. Fuck you.
That's just a nasty lady. That's a nasty, unhappy lady. This is how nasty, unhappy people behave. They did not murder a man. Let's correct the record. Law enforcement, when you pull a gun or you are inserting yourself and they believe that their lives are in danger, they don't even have to, they need to believe that there is an active, real threat. They are well within their rights to take the action that they took. And so it's not murder. And you're seeing the left characterize this as murder. Again, the CEO of the United Healthcare, who was gunned down in early morning, shot in the back. That's murder in cold blood. What we saw Alex do and Renee Good a couple of weeks ago was not murder. There were circumstances in which they lost their lives, and it's because they inserted themselves somewhere where they should not have been. But again, I do think that these are the kind of people that are really useful idiots. This woman is a useful idiot. She's being used. These people, Waltz, the global elitists, all this color revolution people that are kind of running this, because this is all organized. They don't care about this woman. She's just a useful idiot. That's all she is. And there's more of them. But it asks the bigger question, and this is something that I thought about before this week's live. Something that I asked before is that, do we now have to worry about our medical institutions? Alex Pretzi, who lost his life yesterday was an ICU nurse. He was an activist. With this woman, and I've got another clip I'll show you in 1 minute. This is a higher frequency that you're seeing people in the medical community put this stuff on social media and share. I mean, she's wishing harm on Caroline Levitt. What does Caroline Levitt have to do with her life? But again, do we now have to worry about our medical centers, our surgical centers? If somebody disagrees, if they find out, you're a Trump voter, if that woman who took the Hippocratic Oath, I do believe, to get her nursing license, would she, if your life was in danger, could you trust that woman to make the right decision to save your life? I think it's a legit question. I absolutely think it's a legit question. And she's not the only one. So let me find that while we talk in the crosstalk and let this keep rolling. I'm going to move these 46 in the chat. Please do tell me where you're coming from. Okay, hold on. I want to get, before I go to this next lady. Let's see. Monica, you were absolutely lying. There was no threat. We just saw the video. Effing delusional. I'm not lying. And I don't know what you're talking about. The video of Alex Pretzi, I'm not lying. There was no threat. How do you know that? What are you talking about? There absolutely was a threat. Why did he have a gun with him? You don't bring a gun to a peaceful protest. That's the first thing. Again, you guys, do you remember, and this kind of brings up actually MJP 9000 with your comment. This brings up another really good question. If you remember from like 2015, there was something that was going all over social media, and it had to do with a dress. There was a dress, and half the population that would look at it saw it as like a gold and white striped dress, and the other population, part of the people that were looking at this dress, said, no, that's a black and blue striped dress. And so we're looking at the exact same thing, coming up with completely different conclusions. I saw what I saw, MJP. I saw him getting involved. If that woman was being pepper sprayed, what is he doing putting himself in between law enforcement and the woman? He is inserting himself. He is injecting himself. So how do you know there wasn't a threat? He was resisting arrest. These are highly charged, highly high voltage situations, and you don't know what these ICE agents are being threatened with and looking at and have experienced on the ground all day long. I mean, obviously they're being doxxed. I can pull up a whole thread of people that have infiltrated these signal chats from ICE watch people that are it's a whole organized thing where they are watching where the ICE agents are from. They are sharing their locations. They are sharing their license plates. They are trying to kill these ICE agents. So I cannot see how you get to that conclusion that there was no threat. Did you think it was just all sunshine and roses? I would like an answer. And let's just keep it rolling. This has nothing to do with the CEO murder, liar. I'm not a liar. The CEO murder, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the CEO murder. Just let me explain it to you, because I know, sometimes that's hard for liberals to grasp facts and logic. Let me explain it to you. The CEO murder of the United Healthcare Insurance Company was murdered in cold blood. Renee Good and Alex Pretzi was not murdered in cold blood. So it's a comparison. Again, I could say it slower for you, and that might help you out. It's a comparison. Okay? So thanks for your comment. Answer my question, please. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Monica, it's flying by kind of quickly. So ask it again if you can, if you don't mind. I'd be happy to answer your question. Again, I don't mind discourse, but I didn't truly, Dakeen 9696815. I did not see your question. So if you don't mind asking again, I will try to make sure I answer it if I can see it. It's just it's running pretty quickly. It's not the same. What's not the same exactly? MJP, he should never have involved himself. Hey, Tammy Pierce, good to see you again. I think you've been here like 2-3 weeks in a row. I'm so delighted that you're coming back. Okay. I've got a few more people in the medical community. And again, I want to ask the question, are you guys concerned about the medical community? If they disagree with us and find out we're a Trump voter, are you safe being under their care? That's the question. So let me just take a few more chats. I want to be respectful. Hey, Tammy. MJP, Tammy, he didn't involve himself. He was pepper sprayed without provocation, dragged and pinned to the ground, and shot 12 times. I don't think any of that is based in fact. He did involve himself, MJP. He got in between. The real story is he got in between the ICE agents who were pepper spraying a lady, and he put himself in between the ICE agent and the lady. So yes, he did involve himself. I don't know whether he was pepper sprayed or not. I know that he was resisting arrest. You're also not supposed to resist arrest. I don't know if you're aware of that. Tammy Pierce. Yeah, MJP, he crossed the street. You're exactly right. You can see him with his camera, and he did cross the street, and he went to get involved there. He deliberately see what you see. This is what, and we're not going to be told by people from like MJP anymore that we're not seeing what we have actually seen. These are facts. Oh, Giuseppe, nice to see you again. How are you? Welcome back. Green Dye, you are correct. He put himself there. Dakeen, Monica, watch the videos and get some new glasses. What's wrong with my glasses, Dakeen? I do have more than one glasses. I can't run the chat if I don't have my glasses on. But anyway, as everybody's coming in for the rest of the show, we'll probably go for a little while today because I think a lot of people are snowed in. We're getting snow here in Chicago and stuff like that. So I've got extra time today. And I'd love to get to know you all. Do I know what probable call? I think you mean probable cause. I think I do. He was getting away from ICE by crossing the street. You are absolutely brain dead. I'm not brain dead. I saw it. Okay. I was in the ICU a while back. I feared for being given a COVID jab, and that was 2025. They made me take a test before transporting me to another hospital. Aidhead, yeah, they're becoming complete and total Gestapos, and I've got more on that, and we're going to jump back to it. Green Daisy says she really likes my glasses. I appreciate it. I mean, I have to wear them. You know, I don't know how well they fit or whatever, but anyway, let me go to some more clips that I have, and we'll continue the discussion. Jelly, my uncle was killed helping somebody else. It was his choice. I'd love to hear more about that, Tammy. 41 in the chat. Where's everybody coming from? Women, why are you running your clock holsters? Aren't you supposed to get in the kitchen and making men food? Steel City, Texas. I'm from a different country and wondering why you guys protest for criminals and frauds. That's such a good question, Jason Beatrix 7632. Why are they doing it? They're doing it for what reason? It's for criminals in many cases. A lot of this is for criminals. All right, so I'm going to go because there's more. There's another lady talking about who's in the medical community, talking about how she doesn't know if she could treat somebody if she found out they were a Trump voter. And that's kind of a serious thing. So while the chat pours in and you guys crosstalk, I want to get that ready. Again, I do my live production here as we are continuing our chat today. Okay, so I've got her right here. Let me bring her back. Stop. Go back to the stream. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Here we go. Share. And then I got to do one more thing before I can play this clip and make sure. Okay. All right. I want you to listen to this lady. She's also in the medical community.
So ICE is in my hospital, on my floor, in my quad. which means that I have to try to control my facial expressions today so I don't get fired. I'm not very good at fake. I'm not very good at hiding what I'm thinking. It's not great for an adult, but I'm going to have to figure out how to be professionally polite if I need to be. Thankfully, it's not my patient, so I won't have to do too much interacting, but I don't have a good poker face. So if you see me on TikTok this week begging for money, it's because I got fired for telling ICE to fuck off.
So there you have it. Another activist in the medical community. Obviously, she is making a face and things like that. I don't know why these people that out themselves, uh, why they want to put this on social media. I don't understand it. So obviously, she's tempted not to, because of her political beliefs, treat an ICE agent. And you're seeing this all over the place. We're seeing hotels that don't want to house ICE agents. Some of that might be because of all the protesters making all kinds of noise and they don't want that kind of, situation outside their hotels, but they are, they're persona non grata. They're treating a lot of these ICE agents like persona non grata. And again, the beginning of this live stream this is what 75 million Americans voted for. We want these deportations. You cannot have a country of people that came here illegally, are from third world countries, are depleting all of our resources. If you go to the DMV, you go to the ER, they get it's overrun. The ER is overrun with illegals, and they're getting care before you and I are getting care. And you just can't, this is not sustainable. So I've got a few more people that I want to share for everybody. And again, we can talk about things as we keep going. We've got 80 in the chat. It's growing. Please, again, everybody tell me where you're from. Say hello. And again, this is a good time to see if you like and subscribe. I'd like to grow this channel. That'd be wonderful. Bullseye Ballistics Q. What's right and wrong? They're illegal aliens, you dumb shit. Yeah, exactly. And I really think you bring up a great point of right and wrong. We have lost a sense of right and wrong in this country. But again, at the beginning of this whole thing, I wanted to frame it in the context of, why are these people so unhappy? Why do they feel like what is driving them? I think it's some inner turmoil and unhappiness that makes them so angry. Why are they so angry? Because we want to have our country a full of people that came into our country in the proper legal immigration way, and are American citizens. Why does that incent all of these people? And you're seeing a high frequency of people in the medical community. I've got another lady I'm going to show right now who made up blatant lies about what's happening in the medical community. And let me just grab her while everybody comes in and we keep this going. All right, grab her. Okay, so again, I'm going to share this. Okay, this other woman is also a medical professional. So this is from I Meme, Therefore I Am. This insane Minnesota healthcare worker. Again, are we going to need legislation? Are we going to understand? I mean, you can talk to your doctor and probably get a feel for the doctor and your internist and somebody you might be working with like on a regular basis, and that person. But if you go in for a surgery, if you go into, maybe it's an emergency surgery or whatever, you get nurses, you don't know who they are. How do we know? I mean, how can we protect ourselves? I think this is becoming actually kind of a serious thing, but let's listen to this lady. Listen to what she has to say. make her a little bit bigger. Here we go.
To get people who are being picked up like that person.
Yes.
So the people that are injured really badly, or maybe other people too, we don't know how many people, are being taken out into the woods around the Whipple and released in the middle of the night, sometimes with no clothes, always with no phone, if they're brown, with no ID. And it's a death sentence. One of the people had a cracked skull that's been treated. So they're taking the people that they don't want us to know about and they're dropping them in the woods, which I've heard is something that they've been doing with Native Americans for a long time, and we're just continuing that tradition. But that is sickening me right now. Safe Haven is here to get people who are being picked up like that person.
Yes.
So there's an activist group. She said that at the beginning of this clip that there's somebody called Safe Haven. But I mean, ask yourself, do you really think that they're taking people, throwing them in the woods naked? Do you really, really believe that? Yeah, I don't even think so. I mean, when the shooting happened for the National Guard, I think it was Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving? And the one young lady did lose her life. And then there was another gentleman, the 2 National Guard in DC that were shot. Again, I think it was Thanksgiving time. And the perpetrator was shot too. He got medical treatment. So, I don't really think that this is true. But if you are gullible enough, and these are the useful idiots that get sucked into this and are the foot soldiers for the color revolution that we are seeing in our country. This is what's happening in our country. They are useful idiots, and there's something something wrong with their brains that they actually believe this. I do not believe for one moment that this is happening at all. So, and I actually have another clip that I want to share, and this has to do in the state of Florida with some woke doctors reporting a conservative family for not wanting to, I believe, treat their children with some particular, I think it was a vaccine. And I'm going to share that right now. So let me grab that as I continue to keep the discussion rolling. And it's actually quite serious. They want to take these people's children away. And this is real. Oh, I hope I have the clip while everybody's talking in the cross chat. I do hope I have the clip. Let's see here. So bear with me. And we're going to get to Antifa, and then I don't have that clip, so I do apologize for that. Let's welcome a few more people into the chat, and then we'll move on to Antifa. We've got 89 in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Inhumane, we're embarrassed to have you. I don't know what I missed, Tammy. Nazis line it when people are dragged out of hospitals. Okay, whatever. At Green Daisy, you are correct. If you are in an accident, they may take your organs, even if you will be okay. I missed that. Aid head. Okay. Let's see. Taking children away from abusers is what doctors are obliged to do. It's called mandatory reporting. Yeah, that absolutely is true. But when you're in the wake of doctors reporting people, if a parent has objection to their child being given a mandatory vaccine. And remember when the COVID vaccine was shoved on all of us? Now they're changing their tune on the whole COVID vaccine, and people were upset about it. And I do think that people should have the freedom to say, I want to take this drug. I don't want to take this drug. Now, I do apologize for not having that actual clip. I thought that I had pulled it. But it's just more medical activists. And I mean, I want to ask the question, do we need to worry about who is treating us if they disagree with us politically? That's the question. Karens are always radical leftistas. Hi, I'm butchering the name. Anyway, welcome to the chat. Where are you from? I don't understand why Donald Trump is obsessed with Greenland. If he wants virtually empty frozen tundra, he already has Kristi Noem. Poor GT7177. Well, actually, it is national security. There's many, many reasons why he wants Greenland. And he got Greenland, and that's putting America first. We do have to win the AI race. If you didn't know, they have quite a few precious metals that we need to win the AI race, and we're being forced into the AI race. Absolutely forced. China, I mean, whoever controls AI is going to control the world, basically. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want AI, but that's the reason why. I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you. Renee and Alex in hell protesting. Uh, you guys, I'm butchering the names, so forgive me. I don't want to be like tripping over the names, but I'll tell Arenas. Welcome. MJP, maybe it was the 56 unalived under Obama. I'm sure I'm missing some of this. The Shans. I just discovered this channel and I love it. There's a lot of folks doing this type of show. Thank you so much. But most of them don't have your level of skill. And thank you so much. I hope you decide to like and subscribe and help me grow. So I really, really appreciate that. And you guys, I mean, and thank you. I'm going to stop for a second and just say I really do try to bring a lot of value. I like to really be about the viewer. And I research a lot as I get prepared for this during the week, and it's about the viewer, and I want to bring value. So I really, really appreciate that that compliment. And charming and wit, I do like to have a side of snark every now and again. So anyway, we'll keep it going. And looks like we got a couple of members that joined my channel. Thank you so much. Love to have you. If you guys want to help me grow, and these only are going to get better and better, I'm probably going to have some guests on and things like that. And so, super chats, members, all of that stuff does help a lot. But if you can't do that, totally understand. Just like and subscribe, share, helps me grow. Much, much appreciated. So let's just kind of keep going. And then we're going to move into Benson. Why is anti-fascist a bad thing? Hey, good to see you again. I know you were here last week. Yeah, it's a good question. Swagger like yous, back again. Love to see you. Antifa was exposed as a Soros proxy decades ago. Yes, that is true. I'm going to keep trying to pull some. And you know what? I'm trying to get mods too. I think mods is probably the next step to help me run the channel and do even a better show. F the lunatic left. I agree. There's no such organization as Antifa. Liar. How gullible are you? That's just absolutely not true. I should pull all of the Cam Higby 2026 if you haven't seen it. I don't know if you know about all of these anti-watch. Well, you know what? Actually, let's pull up Antifa. We can go there right now, actually, because Kyle, if you didn't see this guy, he says he's Antifa. And I'm going to jump to that right now while everybody streams in. We're getting a really good crowd here today, and I love it. Let me grab that. Let's see. Okay, so all right. I've got this right here for every. All right, so let me just do this and share the screen. It's just a better way to produce the show. Okay. All right. So there's this guy, Kyle. You can see him up at the in the right-hand corner. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. He did this yesterday. He was live streaming a lot yesterday, talking about how, you know what, basically it's time to get out in the street. It's time to kill. He says he's Antifa. I can pull up that screen too. But if you guys didn't see this guy, I'm just trying to provide some context for you. And, he got all crazy after this shooting yesterday and went absolutely nuts. Well, there's a little bit more to Kyle, to which he's having big time meltdowns about. And he is talking about how he really is. I mean, again, he's not a happy person. There's something going on. There's a mental illness. There's high level of disturbance with this guy, but listen to this.
I do this all year, all the time. I'm out and about like this because I do it for me all year. All the time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, those are Antifa tattoos. Okay, so I can't remember who asked that, said there is no Antifa. There is Antifa.
I'm a fucking blue collar fuck of a dude all day long. And then at least a few times every week, I like to get real clean and pretty and go out, shoot pool or get dinner, maybe go dance. You never fucking know, right? But I don't need a fucking parade to celebrate. I don't need to be groped and harassed and catcalled and treated like a piece of meat by a bunch of fucking cis women who fucking give me side eyes in public when I do this the rest of the fucking year, who mumble to themselves and fucking have all kinds of things to say behind my back. All of you, fuck off.
Okay, I've got some more from Kyle that I'm going to also pull. So let me go to that. And I actually have in my bookmarks where I want to prove it to you that he said he's Antifa. Okay, so he did say this. This is another there he is. Okay. He was at another event actually. So he's one of those paid people, but let's go. I mean, you can see all of this. Let me go to the first one. Okay, here we go.
And there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. They fucked up. Okay, go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fucking fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and fucking 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my fucking followers. This is everything I have fucking talked about, and this is exactly what I said was gonna happen. This is exactly what I said was gonna fucking come when we didn't fucking go and march on fucking Whipple with guns. Sorry, but welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you fucking protected from literal fucking Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity. This is not a fucking joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people.
Okay, there's more. I've got more. We'll stay on Kyle for a little while because he's actually very interesting. He's actually a pretty interesting guy. Let me share this. Okay. Before becoming an influence, what am I doing here? Sorry.
My name is Kyle. I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. They fucked up. Okay, go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not.
Okay, so that's something that we just watched. But I mean, to answer your question, the other person in the chat, we've got 149. Let's keep it going. He said he's Antifa. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's I want to get some discussion going, and then I've got some more to talk about with you guys. You are falling for the propaganda. I don't hear him saying anything about being part of an organized named Antifa funded by Soros. Old woman is imagining things. Okay. I don't think so. Both the right and left are clowns. Ryan Ball 3000, 151. These are all bots. I got to get rid of these people. Let me do that. Let's see. Okay. The Antifa guy is 100% gay man, Democrat propaganda as always. Dirt Bike Juice, good to see you. I actually think that's true, and he was talking about it. I've got another clip. It's almost too dirty for me to be able to play. Maybe I will play it. I really don't know. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. Swanky Sasquatch, hey, hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. Thank you for coming. Let's keep the conversation going. Double tap the screen. Tammy, I am getting better every week. Getting better. Common sense is not so common. Green Daisy, my grandmother used to say that. She said, I don't know why they call it common sense because it's so not common. Thanks for confirming MAGA are bigots. How so, 2026? Lady, you are part of the problem. L. Smith, U1V. How so? Tell me about that. I would love to. I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you again. Why am I part of the problem? Tell me more about that. I don't understand. Two cults run the country. Truth bombs. And I think that's kind of like a worthy comment. I don't know if they're cults. I mean, people have called MAGA cults for years, but we have oh, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really, really appreciate that. That's such a wonderful thing. Keep going against your interest. Keep voting against your interest. I want to know what you mean by that, L. Smith. I'd love to discuss it. Pulled. Dirty Door Dave. Hey, Dirty Door Dave. Good to see you. Let me see. Let's get some more chats. I know we've got a lot of comments. Rightists and leftists in the chat at Infidel Ryan. But yeah, that's true. I mean, that's fine. I don't mind. I like to have these chats. I think it's really fun. And I don't have any problem with that. But I just, if you're going to be a troll and be nasty, then you're going to get kicked out. Truth bombs. Yes, rep and democults. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think most of us are actually independent. I do think that we see clearly, like our government is... look at all the stuff that's going on. I mean, if you filed your taxes this year, have you filed your taxes yet? I mean, it actually infuriates me when you see all of the stuff that's happening, which I do believe that Waltz and Jacob Frey, I think is Frey or Fry, a lot of this is to get their eyes off of the fraud that's going on in Somalia with the Somalis in Minneapolis. And it's outrageous. And we work very, very hard. And many of us work very, very hard. And a lot of people can't make it. And I mean, even if you can barely make it, having like a vacation and having, just maybe going out to dinner every once in a while is too much for people. They can't do it while we're working our butts off. And we've got all of these people in our country that are draining our resources, our tax dollars go for. It's terrible. Okay, let me just keep this up. Lady, I'm part of the problem. I'm not. Let me see if I got, keep this going. There's a lot of new comments and I love this part of the broadcast. Dirt bike juice, bigot not one Somalian is out there protesting, only the losers out there. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, they're doing this for the Somalians could care less about them. Where are all these illegals? They don't care about them. These people, what are they doing? I mean, is this like something that you want to kind of cause a civil war over about people that shouldn't be in this country to begin with? It's terrible. You live on the Gold Coast and you're crying poor. I do live on the Gold Coast, but you know what? I'm not crying poor. I've worked really, really hard for my money. And I do believe that there is kind of, there's people that the haves and the have-nots. And for too long in this country, we've seen the haves get richer. I mean, there's something called the K-shaped economy where the gap between, you're either uber wealthy or you're just barely making it. Now, I'm lucky. I have had a very good career. I have had, an opportunity to make some decent, but I also don't have kids. And if I had kids, I mean, I couldn't do half the things that I'm able to do. And I'm not talking just about me. Please explain how they're draining the money. Merkling Associate. Well, they're draining the money because if you go into the DMV or you go into the ER, they are taking all of our resources. And in fact, I say this on almost every live stream that I do. Which is why you're seeing a big thing in Chicago called Chicago Flips Red. There's a lady named Danielle. She's amazing. all of the illegals are draining the resources that were for the citizens of Chicago. So about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a school on, I believe, the south side of the Chicago, mainly that area very African American, and those kids who are residents of the city were told, no, you can't come to school. We need to put the illegals there. They were housing the illegals there. So those kids could not play their basketball games. They couldn't be in their own classrooms. And so they are draining the resources. And that's one way of doing it. I went into the DMV 2 or 3 months ago to get my real ID. Again, why do we need a real ID? It's ridiculous to travel within our own country. And I mean, nobody there could, these people were not from Chicago. They were not from America. And half of them can't even speak English. So that makes me go, how are you even driving if you can't read the signs? So they are a drain on our resources. And I mean, those are just a couple of ways in which they're a drain on our resources. God bless. I'm not an American. UNGOC. Welcome to have you. Thank you. Where are you from? It would be good to know. Patrick McCormick. Nobody's protesting over grifters, Somalias, or otherwise. People are protesting that citizens are being murdered by their own people. I don't think they're being murdered by their own people, Patrick. I mean, again, give me an example. And if you're talking about Renee Good and obviously the most recent, news stories in the news, they're being murdered because they're injecting themselves into ongoing law enforcement deportations in progress. They are impeding the ICE agents. The ICE agents' lives, very, very reasonable for them to believe that their lives are in danger. I mean, that guy had a gun. You just saw, I just played a couple of clips from Kyle, our cross-dressing Antifa member, who said, bring your guns. And I've got more. I can continue to play them. I want to keep the chat going for a little bit, and then we'll get back to, because I've got some more things to, I want to share with everybody, but I do want to, I want to keep everybody talking. Go home, Patrick, and would you be living like that simp nurse, that woman still alive? Were your parents Nazis? That work makes sense. No, my parents weren't. My parents are Irish Catholics. MAGA, we want 1950s when men were worshipped by their submissive, uneducated servant wives. Zero Cypher, I think I've seen you in my chats before. I do appreciate your coming. You are lying. He was not brandishing a gun. I will tell you this. I don't know whether he was brandishing a gun or not. I think that that's actually probably a fair statement. I do know that he was in the way of the ICE agents. And I do know that the ICE agents were yelling, gun, 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 gun. So that I do know. And by the way, as you know, guns are not necessarily the only way that their lives can be in danger. I mean, Renee Good tried to kill Jonathan Ross by running him over with a car. So just because he didn't have a gun, and I can't really verify that one way or the other, to be honest, doesn't mean that their lives, they weren't feeling threatened. So Ice love you, sis. Hey, Rick, good to see you again. Thank you for coming. Trying to prioritize super chats, but this is going really fast. So let me go back up in case I missed some. And if I missed some super chats from the last week, I do apologize. He had a camera in his hands. He did have a phone. That is true. I did see that, but that I don't know that he also did not have a gun. I just don't know. And I'd love to hear what other people have to say in the chat about that. Tell me. Again, I'm open for discourse. So your parents were immigrants? No, they weren't. Well, my parents were born here. And again, there's nothing wrong with immigrants, but you bring up a good point, creator, craft, conjure, is because actually when they came over from Ellis Island, my parents were born here. You actually had to have a place to stay. You had to, I mean, there was certain criteria that you had to meet in order to immigrant immigrant legally to this country. It wasn't just this wide open border. You have no job. You have no place to stay. You don't want to assimilate into American culture. That it changed very, very much, very drastically since when my family from Ireland came to this country. So those are just facts. I don't know whether, I understand that the left has a problem with facts, but if you're talking about like Ennis Island and the potato famine, late 1800s for the Irish, you had, and really, I think even to 1920, because the US did shut down immigration from 1920 to about 1965, you had to have somewhere to stay. You had to have a host family. You had to have a job lined up. You had to do certain things in order to be, allowed to come here. And so, that is not the case. And that isn't what we saw under Joe Biden. Now, I really do believe that actually we should shut down all immigration for at least 10 years because we don't know who's in this country. We have too many people. America's pretty full. If you go to any, major urban city, Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, all of these major places, there's a strain. I mean, go to the emergency room and you'll wait for 3 or 4 hours, at least like 8 hours or whatever, and stuff like that. So I think we should get all immigration, just put it on suspension for anybody. Legal immigration. We don't need any more people right now. We have to understand, sort out who's in the country, get everybody who doesn't belong in this country out of the country. Mass deportations. Again, 75 million people voted for this. And I can pull up the chat again, or pull up the clip again, because we're getting a lot of new people coming into the chat, and say, this is what 75 million people voted for. And so everybody out there that is anti-ICE and yelling and screaming about it and causing all kinds of trouble are impeding the will of the people. It was a free and fair election. Donald Trump won overwhelmingly, and we wanted mass deportation, and that's probably the biggest reason why he won. So I want to pull up some other chats because I'm getting some people. Who let all the illegals in? Biden and Kamala. Infidel, that is true. You can't do mass immigration. See what happens. Bad Russell, good to see you. Where are you from? First danger to this country is the whole corrupted government fault, not immigrants. If you get immigrants out, you'll be exploited. Yeah, that's absolutely not right. It's just not right. No, the immigrants are actually H-1B visas. They're a big problem, actually, because the H-1B visas is another scam, and they are taking jobs from Americans. And actually, those people are being used as well, to be honest, because they are beholden to the H-1B visas in order to keep their jobs, which means that the employers can really abuse them and make them work all kinds of hours and things like that. So, we just don't need any more immigration at this moment. We just don't. Let's see. Teddy Roosevelt said in 1915, if you're not an American first and everything else second, you're not an American at all. Sojo 2112, 100%. And I think that you also bring up a really good point, and something I want to work on and help grow this channel is, so many of us don't know our history, and including me. I mean, I need to, kind of, get reacquainted and refreshed with history. But because people don't know their history, we are kind of where we are today. So I really, really do thank you for that comment. I think it's quite helpful. Okay. So let's see. Can't get jobs here in Washington because of the H-1B visas. Be kind, Frog 7284. Yeah, it's totally true. It's terrible. I'm 70. Immigration is not what it used to be. Read a true history book. Linda Hernandez, good to see you. Thank you for coming. If you work in construction or farming, it's costing jobs and pay. I know. Truth bombs. Thank you for your, let's just keep this going. We also don't need you, a la by Holland. Okay, I'm not sure what the crosstalk is on that one. Okay. We've got a lot of new people. Oh, you know what? We're getting rid of you. People are insulting me. It's rude. That is a lie. Borders were not open during Biden. They are not only taking jobs from people who want them. Karen, I mean, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. We could see them. There were caravans of people coming across the. Did you not see this? Are you watching CNN? There absolutely were. Wait, wasn't Trump the ein to say to vote against immigration law? Or am I dumb? The vote happened in February 2020. Nicholas, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. Infidel, you fascist bootlicker. What happened to don't tread on me? Once upon a dime. Everybody's a fascist. You guys just really bring something a little bit more intelligent than name calling. You are all weird and inaccurate. Don't assume because I question you that I'm leftist, but nice try. If I assume that, then I apologize. You know, okay. You need a big chicken. Local turtle? Thank you. Okay. Get rid of some of the trolls. ICE was in my town. I live in Tennessee. Not one single person protested. Bud Russell, thank you for your comment. Oh, thank you for the super chat. That's really wonderful. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get that up there. Oh, it's you too again, M the Shans. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I love the support from everybody. That'd be great. And even if you can't do a super chat, like and subscribe. I'd love this channel to grow. I really want to. This is something I'm very, very focused on. So, love your help. Dirtbike. The word weird is deaf. A Democrat that they insult. Yeah, they do insult. Haters are salty as Fathom Films. I think you are. Have you been in the chat before? Good to see you. Liberals are really delusional. Chosen _ TTV 9822. Nice to see you. Let me see. You believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Karen, go 645. Let me get some new faces up here. Let's see. Catch you next time. Great channel. Hey, good. Thanks for coming. You look great and know your stuff. Thank you so much. Good. So glad you were here. Thank you so much. MAGA is the revolution. The lefties are the real bootlickers that support the globalist agenda. MAGA wants smaller government. John Doe 2523, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Where are the Epstein files? Galaxy Bard. Guess what? I don't really care. I don't care about the Epstein files at all. That might be a question more for Pam Bondi. Don't get involved with law enforcement during arrest. Patrick Curley. Yeah, exactly right. You know what? You don't have any problem. In fact, you know what? For next week's stream, I probably will bring this up. But if you remember the old SNL clip from God, what's his name? Oh God, he's so funny. Anyway, he was talking about here's how not to get arrested. The one that slapped at the Grammys. What the heck was his name? Oh, he's so funny. Anyway, he was talking about here's how not to get arrested. I mean, don't get in the way. It's not that big of a deal. Karma is a bitch because you're going to get stopped by ICE next. I don't think I'm going to get stopped by ICE. And if I was stopped by ICE, I'd be happy to say, hey, here's my, ID. I'm Monica. I'm from Chicago. Here's my driver's license. Carry on. I'm happy. Oh, Dave Chappelle. Well, Dave Chappelle did something on that too, but it was Chris Rock. That's who it was. Chris Rock. It was like totally funny. This lady just wants to make money. I think that's, really not a very nice thing to say. And I want to address that because, actually I do want to grow this channel. And a lot of things I talk about on my channel are being in corporate America, being, Gen Xers, seeing what's happening in corporate America and understanding that, just one job, the days of old where you you trade time for money is no longer the model anymore. And I don't know anybody in tech. I was just talking with a friend of mine at work this past week about everybody in tech is kind of like just assuming that they're going to lose their jobs. But what I'd like to do is, invest the money into this channel. And then, but yeah, I think it is. And I think everybody should have more than one, side hustle and income stream. I just think that's the reality of it. And by the way, I've made like nothing on YouTube. I'm trying to grow it to where it is a good level of income stream. And if you don't want to, that's fine. And I appreciate everything that everybody is willing to share and contribute to the growth of the channel. And if you can like and subscribe, that would be great. And if you can't, I understand that too. But it's not like a money grab. No, it is not. You don't have to carry ID if you know your date of birth, your social security number, and your driver's license number. Oh, I didn't know that. But I do carry my ID, but I wouldn't have a problem with it. Democrats chant democracy, but usurp democracy when it disagrees with them. Infidel, you're 100% right. I mean, they're such hypocrites. Biden was a kid. Patrick Curley. I do love the people that come to the chat. They're so much fun. I do love it. I've got a few more clips to play, and then I want to, what are you, 5 years old? Charlotte Cunningham, 1655. I have irritable bowel syndrome and can't. Oh, that's gross. But you're shitting in. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's, all right. You liberals made sure today that the boys' rooms are fully stocked with tampons. I just saw a clip from Joe Rogan, and I probably should have pulled it, where he said if there was a day and a time when if men saw another man going into a woman's bathroom or locker room dressed as a woman, there was a time when the men of America, the men in our society, would have gotten that guy and beaten the living daylights out of that guy, actually. Trump bottoms from, yeah. Okay. John Kelly, the Trump White House's longest serving chief of staff, said that he believed that Donald Trump meant the definition of a fascist. Well, okay. That's fine. He has a right to his opinion. There's a lot of people that, don't like Donald Trump because he's upsetting. They want to keep it. They want us to just be dumb. So why do you think they made marijuana legal? They want you stoned, stupid, not informed, financially illiterate, so that they can run their scams, so that they get all the money. So, John Kelly and many others in the current administration, just, there's a deep state there, and they're not fans of his. So I could completely agree with that. Trump did have tampon. Oh, yeah, that's funny. That mouth. The mouth can say anything, don't make it true. Alex Pretty was trying to help women ICE agents had roughly pushed to the ground. And Annette, YouTube 742. What was she doing, though? Okay. She was interfering with something, a pending apprehension, in progress. That's what these guys are doing. You can't really watch the live streams from yesterday. I watched it all night long. It was all over the place. They're getting in the way. You're inserting yourself in, obstructing justice, basically. And you can't do that. And it's a highly charged, high voltage, situation. And, things can go, get escalated very quickly. You just have to not be stupid. It's not that hard. Lefties are melting. Fathom Films. They are. It's kind of fun to watch, actually. This one guy from last week, like the one guy, William Kelly. I was going to cover that on this week. Do you remember William Kelly who got arrested? Those are the guys from last weekend that went into the church and scared those little kids and said it was, and that William Kelly, that the one that was like yelling and screaming and all hysterical, he actually made me laugh. And if you go to my channel, check out that video, because I just had to say, these people are actually comical at this point. I can't stop laughing at these guys. It's just something else. Colton Merrill can't get a permit for where ICE plan to be, so they are not peaceful protesters. Correct. That's correct. Let's go. Truth. Hold on. If anybody complains on what ICE is known to people, that's actually getting in the way, and you're just stupid. Samuel Sam 5124. Salty Spotted. The people act like VA nurses incapable of ignorance. Have you seen how many healthcare workers are out there doing people dirty? Salty Spotted Dog. It's becoming like a real thing. I mean, can we trust these people? They take the Hippocratic oath is to do no harm. And but yet, these people are vile. That woman, Lexi Lawler, did lose her job, by the way, which is good. And let me ask you the question of the chat. Do you think she should also lose her nursing license? I actually think she should. I don't think it's enough just to lose your job. I think she should lose her nursing license. I think that because if the shoe was on the other foot, they would make sure. I mean, look at what they did to the J6ers, a sofa, an insurrection, and I say that in quotes, that went on for 4 hours. And they put, in fact, I'm going to show that right now. Mike Benz had it. Let me grab that while you guys are talking and people are strolling in. Let me get that. Could be under Mike Fanone. I've got a couple more clips that we can play for our discussion today. And I want to keep everybody. We're in a really, really good chat, so I want to make sure that we cover a lot of stuff. Dave Smith. Oh, you know what? I actually hold on. I want to play this. Okay, this is something what ICE is doing, and this is what they said to somebody who was getting in their way. So they are getting in their way, and it's not a peaceful protest. Let me share this. I think that you guys would appreciate, and this is a good discussion point. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay. I'm going to make sure you guys can see this. Share. Okay. All right. Let me just double check and that you can see this. Okay. Let me play this. Watch what this ICE agent has to say.
Second reporting. We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
Oh, they're not. No, we're pressed. We're not.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
I mean, what are you going to say to that? What do you say to that?
My warrant is not for you. I don't have to go. It's insane how you can be honking. Second reporting. We're here to arrest a child sex offender.
That's who the left is fighting for. They're fighting for child sex offenders. Now, all you lefties in the chat that are trying to insult me, bring it. Answer me. Tell me about that. Is this what you're about? Is this what you want? Is this what you want these people to be in our country for? I'd like an answer. And I think the chat would probably like an answer too. You guys are dipshits. The VA is dog shit, but not because of nurses. I don't know anything about that. That's baloney. They've been told to say that doesn't make it true. Yeah, I mean, you're just absolutely not right. Let's talk about Laken Riley. Let's talk about Rachel Marin. I mean, do you know anything about that? BKNBWDWI. Do you even know who Rachel Marin is? She was murdered, mother of 5, by a legal alien. So, and I think he was trying to rape her, actually. And that child, that 5-year-old child that was all over the news the other day saying, oh, ICE apprehended a child, 5-year-old child. No, he didn't. What happened was ICE was going after the father, and the father abandoned that child. The father abandoned that child, and that child was taken into safety by the ICE agents. So you don't get your facts right. Let's see. Somebody's calling me nuts in here. And again, I mean, if you want to be decent, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. American citizens are being murdered by your own so-called justice. When are you going to wake up? You are so scary and the world is watching. Jack LaBerge, 8690. They're just not. It's just simply not true. We're not being murdered by our own so-called, we're not. American citizens are not. And now Alex Pretty was murdered and so was Renee Good. But again, to act like she was just murdered for no reason is just, it's simply not you're picking and choosing. That's not exactly what happened. So you just don't give a crap, the left does, about any facts being showed to your face. You literally say my eyes are lying. Justin Pereira, 100%. That's what they do. Again, and I'd like to challenge you guys. I mean, if you can bring it, if you can challenge, if you can win on policies and you can win on, real things, and we can really have discourse and debate in this country, which is where we need to get back to, then that's fine. Let's have it. But you can't win on this kind of stuff. And again, I said this in last week's stream. I know that this country was overrun with illegals that came across our border because I live in a very, I've lived in this neighborhood for 25 years, and I saw illegal immigrants wandering around the city of Chicago, to which at 5:00 in the morning, when I'm outside thinking about my YouTube channel and how I can bring value to everybody and what should I talk about this week, having my cup of coffee in peace, I saw a bunch of illegals coming literally into my garage and I mean, so that is, and you're trying to tell me I don't see this invasion? Where do you live? Or all you people, where do you live? Because if you live in Chicago, a sanctuary city, or you live in New York, a sanctuary city, or I think Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, you're seeing this. And so, that might not be everywhere, although I do think that they put a lot of these, the Biden administration was flying a lot of these illegals to red states in the dark of night. And American Airlines was helping them, by the way. So that's just something else. I mean, the corporate oligarchy is a problem too. I think there's government, the gangster banksters, and the corporate oligarchy. This is the global elitists, the cabal, if you will. And they were dropping these people into red state again because they want to change the electorate. They don't ever want America is standing in the way of, the whole, they don't like America. They don't like our Constitution. And that's what's driving everybody crazy. So let's keep going. This shit is so crazy. This is why they want the crime to going on. The Democrats don't want normal. Tommy Bishop, 100%. You just see it every day. It's crazy. And if you guys are new to the chat, let me know where you're from. Please like and subscribe, and whatever you can do to support would be great. Okay, special rules just for you, Von Ruger. I'm not sure what that's about. Riley, I'm probably butchering your name, so I apologize. Boomers are on that out because of age, and the Republican youth are into Nick Fuentes. 100% true. He's a literal, you're saying he's a Nazi. Conservatism is actually being destroyed. You are right. The boomers are really out of touch, and boomers they really, you could say a lot about boomers. Idaho, baby. I've never been to Idaho. I hear wonderful things about it. We don't play that Minnesota bullshit here. Dat Sauce, though, 2194. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Colton Merrill, years ago. Excuse me, years ago. So I know it's been going on for years. I don't know what that's referring to, so I'm missing that. Let's see. What checks and balances have broken, Mom said? Oh, let me just, you're just another grifter and you're a boomer. I'm actually not a boomer. So, I'm not, but you're not hurting me. When are people going to wake up to the reality that both political parties are corrupt? I think a lot of people have woken up to that fact, which is why, I do think MAGA, a lot of people, the Republicans, they're no better. I don't disagree with that at all. So let's go back up. I want to make sure that I'm getting all super chats And everybody Chicago in here. Oh, Mrs. Trumpkin, hi. Do you live near me? We should have coffee. Yes, we do need ice. We absolutely do need ice. Yes, Tom got an award for deporting over 400K. Yes, he did. Michael Young, 8252. Yes, he did. America is standing in the way. That's right. America is standing in the way of what these global elitists want. And so I'm going to make sure that we've got a couple of good chat. And then I'm going to move on to something else. Tom Homan received rewards by Obama, LOL. Obama did deport a lot of people. He also didn't really have the same issue that that Trump has had, because you remember, and I can remember these words very, very loud and clear: surge to the border. Joe Biden, surge to the border. Use those words. That's what they did. They flung it open. Wasn't the Texas governor flying immigrants to New York? Colin Mahara J50. Yes, he was, but I don't blame the Texas government for that. Why should, if New York is a sanctuary city and Texas isn't, then they can back up their policies and say, hey, if you want the illegals, you take them, because Texas didn't want them. So I didn't really have a problem with that at all. I actually thought Ron DeSantis was doing that too. I thought that was a good move. I happen to live in a sanctuary city. So, they definitely, I think Chicago took some of the largest numbers. But yeah, they should have done that. That was the right thing to do. New York, you want to live like that? Why should Texas live like that? Why should Arizona live like that? Why should, I think California sanctuary city too. Why should they live like that? Or what they should have them. It makes sense to me. Oh, that's true. He's the freaking Presidential Medal of Freedom. Does he, Mr. Tillman from Barack Obama? Let's keep going. Okay. Demonic people provoke until we react. I agree with that. 48% of ICE is minorities. Bud Russell, you're right about that as well. Democrats are disingenuous, assume that they are lying or doing narrative control at all times. They are un-American. It's kind of hard to deny that. They can't like America. Oh, thanks for the super chat. I just got, okay, here we go. I'm trying to get you up on stage. Are you on stage? Shoot. Why does this do this to me? Rave null. People like Joe Rogan and RFK are the true leftists. These people who call themselves leftists are now socialists and want to be run by a dictatorship. Thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate that. I did read your comment. Let me see. Let's keep this going. Minnesota is a shithole. It's too bad, Patrick. It really was such a nice place. Minneapolis, what a great place. Minnesota, the people are great. I think that, Trump got like 52% of the vote or something like that. He got a lot in the last election, and there's really wonderful people there. But, obviously, Waltz and Jacob Fry, I think it's Fry is his name, and Ilhan Omar. That's a lot to contend with, and it's really too bad. You forfeited the title. Mom's Aid, Autism, RFK, and many others left the left because they have gone socialist. Michael Young, you're 100% right on that. ICE is so unpopular. They're spending $8 million just on influencer propaganda to try and recruit. I don't think it's because they're unpopular. I think because people, I think they give pause to put their life in danger. And I don't think that that's unreasonable. Let me just keep going here. And I had a couple of other things that I wanted to cover too. Something that's particularly been bothering me this week, but I want to keep this chat going. We've got 191. I'm a registered Democrat, or I was John Doe 2523. I was a registered Democrat for 30 years. Donald Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime. I second that. I love Donald Trump. We're never going to see this ever again. I feel that we are lucky to be living in this time. That's my personal opinion. Get them all out. Their culture is trash, and we don't want people who refuse to conform. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Just had the light knocked over. Let me just get that. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll keep going. a few more things, and then I want to move on to something that really has been bothering me this week, and it's um, the unhappiness on display, the degradation of, I mean, mainly it's really about something called fatspo. Have you guys heard about this fatspo thing? And again, I am framing this, and I've framed this entire live stream today around, they are unhappy people, and unhappy people, because they don't want to deal with it themselves, are making us deal with it, and it's in our face and things like that. And so I'm going to move on to that next, unless everyone, we can do a couple more chats and make sure we get everybody's point across, and then we will. Yeah, the Epstein files are still not released. I don't care about it. I really don't. I never did. In case anyone is interested, we are still under a military operation, continuity of government. Many are committing treason and sedition, as this is a war on a Republican. Be careful of your choices. Savali Tutu. Thank you for your comment. You mean the Biden sniffing kids file? Yeah, Colton. Yeah, exactly. Why is Clinton avoiding the Epstein hearings? Infidel. Yeah, good question. Why is he? You should care. Kyle, I mean, to me, it's old news. I don't think there's anything there. And I mean, this may sound harsh, but I care more about immigration and what ICE is doing and deporting all these people, because that affects my life every day. The Epstein files really don't affect my life. Maybe that's insensitive. I'm certainly not like happy that these young girls were, abused, trafficked, what have you. But I care more about what happens to my life, the quality of my life as an American, the opportunities that are here for Americans, the job market for Americans. That's what I care about. So, Matika Karen Rosenthal. Wasting federal money in these sanctuary cities, fraudulent nonprofits that do nothing, wasting money that should be spent on helping our senior citizens, veterans, and unhoused. Runaway inflation. 100% correct. And you know what? You're seeing this in the red states. I actually was talking to a friend of mine, and she had gone to this like a luncheon in Florida, red state, and it was a charity luncheon to do exactly that, to actually help senior citizens. She told me they raised like over $1 million at this luncheon. It was in a very nice area of Florida, but what they do with that money is they help senior citizens, like maybe people who are senior citizens who have lost a spouse, to stay in their homes. And so they will make sure that the people have, money to pay their mortgage and things like that. And, really helping them to live out their senior years. And so those are the kind of things that we want to see, and not, all of this other stuff. Jeff James YT, I think you were here. No, maybe this is the first time. Welcome. Don't care about political party of state. All funding needs to be stopped for a period of time until weed out the fraud. Exactly. J isn't he? Infinity. USA. Okay. Let me keep you guys going. Exactly, because they are wasted. Oh yeah, I just had you on there. Sanctuary cities for illegal criminals. Maverick. Hey, welcome. I think you've been here before. Welcome to see you again. Okay, the fraud is in the White House. I mean, you're welcome to that opinion. I happen to not agree with you, but okay. What if the senior never worked? That's a good question. I mean, you could still help a senior citizen. Tampa Bay area, I'm good. The only constant is change, 8662. I like that screen name. Please go listen to Bill Clinton talk on immigration in 1996. This is the track record of Democrats. We're talking about Obama reiterating the same point. You're 100% right, Justin. You know your stuff. I love it. Okay, being undocumented is not a criminal offense. It's a civil one. No, it's a criminal offense. It's a crime to cross our borders illegally. It is a criminal offense. So we need to get that straight. That is the original crime that they committed, and they need to be deported. Now, if they just self-deport, that's fine, and they can find a way back in, and come back into this country, but do it the right way. I think that's fine. I'm going to grab some more. Okay, let's see. Todd Steiner. Hey, Todd, the government wastes money on shit that doesn't help people in its own country every day. Yeah, it's for American citizens. I completely agree. Retirement workers should come first. I agree. How many kids are you willing to starve to stop some undeserving people? What's the ratio of starving Americans you'll accept? Yeah, I mean, nobody's starving in this country. Did you see all, and I'm going to be doing it again. And heads up, you guys, in a couple of weeks, my next live stream, because it's coming, they're going to shut down the government. I think it's January 31st. It's going to happen again. Mom's Aid. I want to ask you a question. Did you see all of the SNAP benefits videos all over the place? People yelling and screaming about that, number one, they were doing SNAP food hauls. A lot of these people, which is actually a perfect segue to my next subject, were extremely obese. They're buying processed junk food. You know what? If you need SNAP benefits, then maybe you should be buying like meat and flour and fruits and vegetables. And, you can make chicken stock to make a soup, to make a roasted chicken, turn that into chicken salad for lunch. You can make flour, learn how to make bread. I make bread every day of the week. That's the name of this channel. Started as a bread channel, Dough Monica Media. I make bread. That's what I do, or I did. And I still do it. But you know what? So they don't, you're going to see it in a couple of weeks. We're not starving any children. And no one wants to starve a child. And if a child is legitimately starving, I know that anybody would want to help that child. But that's just simply not the case. It's not happening in America. So we'll keep this going. Okay. Let me see. You forgot that many senior citizens are also on SNAP benefits. If you are under the poverty line, as are so many senior citizens, this has nothing to do with race. This is to do with that age. That is a lot of that is actually, that's true too. And I mean, again, I think that American citizens and our seniors should be helped first. But when we saw all of the SNAP benefit, outrageous videos on TikTok, people yelling and screaming, if you remember, it was around Thanksgiving time, they were threatening to rob the grocery stores. I mean, we've gone, so far adrift in this country that, usually you're on benefits, you're thankful for being on benefits for a set amount of time. You don't get to have processed food and alcohol and cigarettes. And I don't know if you can or not, on SNAP benefits right now, but, you did that and then you worked to get off of it. It was supposed to be temporary. You sold out the purple assassin. You sold out for Trump rather than make bread. No, I still make bread and I make pizzas too. But I didn't want to be limited to just talking about, bread. I think it's fun to talk about bread. I actually have another channel it's called dominica.com. And I do more fun videos on that. But I feel like this is important. And I want to talk about things that are, I'd like to bring attention, open up a discussion, make awareness. Because a lot of people don't have time to watch the news, don't want to watch the news. And I think it's something that matters to me. And I think it probably matters to a lot of you too. And so that's why I decided to expand and open up subjects and topics that I would talk about on this channel. Okay, yeah, I had that on there. Okay. Oh, Lefty Lexi. Oh, she was awful, Patrick. She was just awful. What a nasty lady, huh? They're just so nasty. I'm sorry that you chose hell. Kelly Quinn, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I didn't choose hell. I think having a political discussion and sharing what's really happening, and we're no longer going to deny and be gaslit by CNN, MSNBC, and be, all the fake news that, we can see with our own eyes what's happening. So exactly. Disabled people and seniors need to live in dignity. I agree. We worked our entire lives. We don't own apartment buildings and have securities and annuities coming in every month. Yes, and there was a time, and a lot of cultures and things like that actually, revered their seniors and honored their seniors. And we live in a different time. And we don't do that anymore. People are so mad that I didn't give up making bread, guys. I could live off of bread. I could too. And my bread's really good too. I have to say, I do enjoy it. Shame on you. Are you guys all mad because I still make bread? That's not the point. Okay. You're getting lots of hate from the left. That means you're on the right track. They're all butt hurt and you got them wheezing. DC, chill. Thank you. Michael Young, more ice is needed. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Skips all the real comments, just keeps yelling into your echo chamber. I'm trying to get it really flies by quite fast. That's really the honest truth. What did you want to talk about? I'm happy to put it on the stage. Justice for Prete. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was an unfortunate judgment call he made and he lost his life. Food additives are some of the most addictive substances in America. Yeah, that's true. Tall Neanderthal. Oh, that's a cute name. I like it. Okay, yeah, let me see. Want to make sure I get all the super chats because I want to be fair to everybody. Da Vinci, I think you've been in here before. Welcome back. This is what happens when the Democrats encourage people to attack the same federal agents Obama used to deport way more than people than Trump has, but for some reason didn't care when Obama did it. Yeah, good point. Totally good point. Maverick, propaganda. Chosen 7880. You guys have no clue what you were even fighting for. It's really, really true. All righty. Let's see. Maybe Americans finally learned their lesson that billionaire celebrities don't care about anyone else but themselves. How many blue collar Americans have been invited to Mar-a-Lago? I think a lot, actually. Trump's very, very good at, bringing up regular people. I mean, if you remember the State of the Union last year, when that young child DJ who had brain surgery, was sick he had like several brain surgeries, and the left wouldn't even stand up for this poor kid. And his father, I think, maybe was a cop or something, blue collar person. They got invited to Mar-a-Lago. They got invited to the White House. David in Maui. David in Maui, if you're only watching CNN, you're never going to be told that. You're never going to be shown that. They don't want to tell the truth about Donald Trump. Underprivileged, you mean lazy, entitled people who don't want to do the actual work but hide behind gender, shield, race, who they sleep with to garner special treatment and privileges. I agree. All right. So I want to talk about something that just kind of bothered me this week. And let me just make sure I'm up to date on all the comments. And I need to get a moderator for these. Liberal media is disgusting. Maverick, totally. Thanks to immigration, working wages are garbage and the cost of living is insane. Yeah, I mean, this is the way American feels. It's something for you to, whoever just said I am only, talking to the echo chamber. Maybe it's not that way. Maybe what you're seeing now is people are not afraid to be as vocal. There's really more people, which I do think is the case, that support what Trump is doing, support, the ICE, the deportations and all of that. And really, there's more of us than there are these, wacko lefties who want to get in the way of ICE and all of that. I should get a moderator. Christopher Winter, I'm going to have to figure that out. So next time, but I do appreciate you guys kind of hanging with me. Yeah. And I bought my first home when I was 22 years old. What my kids all have homes, but they don't live in the beach cities. My one daughter had to move to Portland with her doctor husband. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's harder to live. How many illegals are on your block, Mom? Big Daddy Trump. Trump loves little kids. He does love little kids. That's true. I actually think he's just really wonderful. Okay, I'm going to move to something else now. You guys, this bothered me this week. Where are we as a society? And again, I think it goes for happiness. These people are, it just really bothered me, and I want to talk a little bit about it. It may or may not hold interest for you. If it doesn't, that's fine. I can understand it. But it's these, I call it just why. So let me grab that while you guys are still in the chat and cross talking, which I love. Okay, yeah. So okay, we're going to start. Yeah. Let me grab the right one. Okay. Okay. I'll get this here. So this is called Fatspo. And I think that these people are very unhappy people too. But at a time when it used to be a stigma, we're now celebrating people doing this kind of thing. Let's share this. I've got a few more I'm going to continue to show. Let me just get it. Because I'm very, very upset about this. And for some reason, and I'm seeing this on X, and other people have commented on it, that these people that are eating like this, and I don't want to, this is not about making fun of them. This is more about, there was a time when, it was a stigma. And now we're putting it up for all the world to see. And a lot of these comments under these posts are in support of this. And these people cannot possibly be happy people. Why would you degrade yourself like that? I just don't understand it. So we're going to share a few more of this. Here's a woman. Let me get this. And tell me, I don't know, does this bother you guys as much as it bothers me? I really was bothered by this. Watch this lady talking about
Here's what I eat in a
everything that she eats in a day. Who would do this?
day as somebody who eats every day.
Breakfast is a ham and cheese croissant that I heated up in the toaster oven. Snack, 2 beef sticks. For lunch, we're having deli sliders. Mine are turkey, bacon, Gouda with honey mustard. Spicy dill pickle, Miss Vicky's. And a crispy Dr. Pepper cream soda.
0 sugar. At least she did the 0 sugar.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to share all of that. There's some other ladies that I think are actually even more upsetting that I want to share, because it's just, and it's what I'm calling just why, but it's startling to me about our society. It is so startling to me that people would do this. Now, this woman in particular drives me crazy. And if you look at the comments under there, people are celebrating this. She's getting a lot of views, but she's also getting criticism, but not all criticism. This startles me. These are unhappy people. Again, these are unhappy people. They're not, they're not dealing with their unhappiness inside. They're dealing with it in this way. Let me get this up so you guys can see it. Watch this. Hold on. I can't believe I'm making you watch this, but I am. I'm going to make you watch this.
You have a 21-ounce cup of sauce.
I mean, I hope I'm not losing people over this, but seriously, this bothers me so much. Do you guys see how startling this is? I mean, if we ever had to, like, D-Day, whenever that was, World War II, when we saw the young men, going into we could not win that war today with this kind of stuff. But people are actually celebrating this. I do believe that these people are unhappy people, and this is the way that they are expressing it. So we really had, first of all, we had Antifa, Kyle, when I showed Kyle and his threat and being, this cross-dressing guy and all of that. That's an unhappy person. That is a violent, angry person, but he's unhappy. There's something inside of him. Then we showed the nurses who are also unhappy and incensed and angry because, of Donald Trump, of ICE, and somebody else, that they don't agree with. It incenses them. But again, they're unhappy and they're putting it on you. This just really bothered me. So I want to, I know. Why did we just, I know it's exactly why infidel, it's bothering me so much. Am I wrong? I want to know what you guys think about this. And the fact that on social media, we have gone from this being a stigma to this being celebrated. Some of these people, being, a YouTuber myself, and all, are getting like 5 million views. Oh my gosh, I can't take it. America is making world stage moves. We are ready. Green Day Daisy. Yes, we are. Anyway, like I said, I'm a total infidel and proud of it. Carnivore. Okay, I don't know what that is. Ozempic is fat genocide. It is. You know what's really funny, infidel, about it, with regard to Ozempic, is that actually I saw on the news the other day that airplanes do not need to use as much gas or whatever because it's that because of Ozempic, because of primarily American audiences have lost so much weight because of Ozempic, that's what's happening here. But then on the other hand, we're seeing this awful. I just this really bothers me, and I don't know. Again, I mean, if I'm off kilter with you guys on this one, we don't have to stay stuck on it, and that's fine. We can get off of that and just kind of continue our conversation about all of the things that I raised today. But it just really bothered me to see this. Ozempic people are getting paresis. I've heard a little bit about that, but these people are not on Ozempic, but I can always see when people have been on it. Just like I could always tell when people had those fat sleeve surgery, their bodies never look healthy or normal. Okay. Too strong for life. You're not worshiping hard enough. Anyway, I don't know if this is as big of an interest to you guys as it was to me. We don't have to stay on it. It just really, really got to me this week. It just, I was like thinking about it. I might do a long form video on it, but anyway, we can keep the chat going and the conversation going for a little while longer if you'd like. But please do like and subscribe my channel. I think a couple of people became members today, which is great. Really, really excited about it. It's free to like and subscribe, and I would really, really be appreciative of your help and helping me grow. But in any case, Colton, I'm going to get your. Could it be that less passengers than is actually lack of weight of one person? How would they be able to come up with that poll? I don't know. It was just on Fox News the other day. I support the guy who won in a landslide. So do I, Patrick. I voted for him 3 times. I don't think we'll ever see anything. We've got to make sure that whoever becomes president next, JD, or I actually think Rubio is becoming very popular. And on a quick side note, I want to share something with you. If you guys are not following Dennis Michael Lynch on X. Very interesting guy. I think he was going to run for president back in 2015. Very, very early for obviously 2028, the next presidential election. I don't know. I said it here today. I feel like that guy could be a dark horse. Big dirt NA. Just read history. You'll quickly learn the left fully aligns with communism. They really do. It's so scary. But I don't think that they think that what's going to happen to them. What do they think is going to happen to them? I mean, look at what's happening in New York. I'll vote 4 times to make America. I will too, Colton. We're on the same team. Okay, Vance 2028. You like Vance 2028? I like Vance too. I just think it's interesting. I think Rubio has been showing very, very well lately. Not following a damn thing you say if you voted for him 3 times. Enjoy your boot and new bonnet. Yeah, I mean, you can be upset about it. That's fine. I love Trump. You don't have to like him. That's why we get the right to vote. Skamala was funny. Then again, Tampon Timmy was funnier. Rubio, Roscoe 4120, he is doing a great job. OG's Fox News, I don't watch any American newscast anymore. You have to know which newscast to watch. No Fox, no BBC. They are all biased in their own way. They are. They actually are. I think that that's true. I think it's hopefully the creators like me, the Nick Shirleys, these independent, Nick Sorter, independent. There's a guy, Matt Morse, on YouTube. You guys should follow him. He's great. Really, really like him. I would give a shout out to another creator that I really like on YouTube. His name is Paramount Tactical. Great channel. I hope to, maybe kind of get together with those guys too. But again, I hope I'm bringing you guys value. I hope you're enjoying this. I try to work hard on these, and I'm always trying to say, what can I share and what can we talk about today that will serve you guys in some way? And that is the point of my great. I'm getting some subs. I think that's wonderful. I think we got some members, we got some super chats, and that's great. I'm going to be probably signing off. You guys, I do lives every Sunday. And what my thought process is, I want to bring 3 stories or a minimum of 3 stories that may have gone under your radar that I think is important for you to know, for us to discuss. And that's I do a little bit of a news aggregate. Could be social issues, political issues, cultural issues. They're all kind of blending together, but that's what I do on Sundays. And I try to do long forms and things like that during the week. Thank you all for joining. It's been really fun today. We've gone 2.5 hours. Everybody, if you're, snow, cold, stay warm, enjoy the day. And I will see you all next week. And welcome to the new subscribers. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Make it a good week.